The Galactic Council laughed when Earth's name appeared on the screen. To them, Earth was nothing more than a failed prototype. A weak world. Slow creatures. No special energy. No ancient technology. The council members spoke openly. Some mocked Earth's low gravity. Others joked about humans fighting with sticks and fire. Many agreed that Earth should never have survived this long. It was labeled as an experiment that went wrong. Soon, several alien races saw an opportunity. Earth was unclaimed. No official protection. No known defenses. They believed Earth would be easy to take. The first invasion fleet arrived quietly. Advanced ships entered Earth's atmosphere. Their scanners showed forests, mountains, and empty lands. No planetary shields. No defense stations. The aliens smiled. But the moment they landed, the ground shook. The air became hot. A deep roar echoed across the land. From the mountains, massive shapes rose into the sky. Dragons. Not small creatures. Not animals. These were giant, fire-breathing beings with armored scales and glowing eyes. The first alien soldiers did not even fire their weapons. They froze in fear. Flames filled the air. Ships melted before they could lift off again. Entire squads were erased in seconds. No survivors. The Galactic Council watched in silence. The room that once held laughter was now filled with shock. They called it an accident. They said it was a rare event. Then a second alien race tried. This time, they came prepared. Heavy weapons. Energy cannons. Battle armor. They attacked from orbit. The result was worse. The dragons rose again, faster and angrier. Fire burned through shields like paper. Claws crushed ships mid-air. Every intruder was destroyed. Earth was renamed overnight. Not a prototype. Not a joke. A death world. No one dared to land anymore. But one question remained. Why were dragons there? Ancient records were searched. Old star maps were checked. Nothing explained it. Dragons were thought to be myths. Legends from old space tales. Yet they lived on Earth. And they killed everything that entered. Except humans. The council noticed something strange. The dragons never attacked human cities. They never burned human lands. They only attacked outsiders. Humans lived their normal lives. They worked. They built. They argued. They laughed. All while dragons watched from the skies. The galaxy could not understand it. Finally, a human exploration team was approved. Not an invasion. Not a battle group. Just a small landing crew. The galaxy expected a massacre. Humans arrived without heavy weapons. Without shields. Without fear. They landed in an open field, close to the mountains. The dragons noticed immediately. Massive shadows moved across the ground. Roars shook the sky once more. Alien observers held their breath. But the humans did something unexpected. Instead of preparing for battle, they set up a small camp. They opened metal boxes. They lit fires. Soon, smoke rose into the air. Not from weapons. Not from engines. But from food. Meat cooked over open flame. A strong, rich smell spread across the land. The dragons stopped mid-air. Their roars faded. They lowered themselves to the ground. And slowly, they moved closer to the humans. The galaxy watched in disbelief. Something had changed. Something no weapon had ever done. And the dragons were about to make a choice. The galaxy could not believe what it was seeing. The dragons had stopped attacking. Their massive wings folded slowly. Their glowing eyes stayed fixed on the human camp. No fire. No roar. Only silence. Alien observers watched from distant satellites. They expected blood. They expected fire. But nothing happened. The humans continued their work calmly. They talked to each other. They laughed. They turned meat over the fire. The smell grew stronger. One dragon lowered its head. It sniffed the air. Its eyes narrowed, not with anger, but with curiosity. This confused the galaxy even more. Until now, every alien who stepped on Earth was killed. Even peaceful explorers did not survive. Even scientists were burned alive. The dragons showed no mercy. So why were humans different? The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Fear replaced pride. No one laughed anymore. Ancient experts were brought in. Old forgotten records were opened. Legends were studied again. One story appeared again and again. A story about guardians. Long ago, some worlds were protected, not by machines, but by living beings. Creatures designed to judge intent, not power. Creatures that attacked only those who came to take, not to live. The dragons fit the description perfectly. The council felt uneasy. Meanwhile, on Earth, the dragons moved closer. The ground shook with every step. The humans noticed. Some reached for tools. Others froze. But their leader raised a hand. He told them to stay calm. No weapons were lifted. The fire continued to burn. The biggest dragon stepped forward. Its scales reflected the flames. Heat rolled across the land. Still, the humans did not run. They stood their ground. One human slowly picked up a piece of cooked meat. His hands trembled, but he walked forward. Every alien watching thought this was the end. The dragon lowered its head again. It sniffed the food. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the dragon gently took the meat. No teeth. No fire. It tasted it. The dragon's eyes widened. A low sound came from its chest. Not a roar. A rumble. The humans stepped back slowly. Their hearts were pounding. But the dragon did not attack. Instead, more dragons landed nearby. Smaller ones. Older ones. They watched. They waited. The humans understood one thing very clearly. Earth was not just their home. They were sharing it. The Galactic Council was terrified now. If humans could bond with dragons, the balance of power would change forever. Earth was no longer weak. It was dangerous in a way no one expected. The Council tried to send a warning. They tried to order humans to leave. The message was ignored. The humans stayed. Night fell over the land. The fire burned lower. Dragons rested nearby. No attack came. Only quiet watching. Somewhere deep in the mountains, ancient instincts were awakening. The dragons were remembering something. Something old. Something important. And the humans had unknowingly passed the first test. But the galaxy had no idea what the second test would be, and whether it would survive it. The night on Earth felt different. The fire crackled softly. The smell of cooked meat stayed in the air. The dragons did not leave. They stayed close to the human camp. Not as enemies. Not as friends. As watchers. The humans were tired, but they did not sleep. They knew one wrong move could mean death. Still, they stayed calm. One dragon lifted its head and looked at the humans closely. Not at their tools. Not at their clothes. At their faces. It studied their eyes. Their slow movements. Their steady breathing. This dragon was ancient. Older than many stars the galaxy knew. It had seen many races come and go. Most came with greed. Most came with fear. Most came with weapons. Humans were different. They came with fire, but not for war. They came with blades, but only to cook. They came with noise, laughter, and smell. The dragon stepped closer to the fire. The heat did not bother it. Another human carefully placed more meat on the grill. Fat dripped into the flames. The smell became stronger. The dragons reacted instantly. Their eyes narrowed. Their nostrils flared. This smell was familiar. Long ago, before humans built cities. Before they even knew they were watched. They cooked food under open skies. The dragons remembered. They remembered small humans offering food, not knowing who was watching them. They remembered patience. They remembered respect for the land. The biggest dragon let out a low rumble. Not a warning. Approval. The humans froze. Then slowly relaxed when no fire came. The dragon sat down. Its massive body caused the ground to shake. This was not an attack position. Alien observers could not understand it. They replayed the footage again and again. This had never happened before. Other races tried gifts. Gold. Technology. Energy crystals. The dragons burned them all. But humans offered food. Simple food. Cooked with care. One human stepped forward again. This time, he placed the food on a flat rock. Then he stepped back. A sign of trust. The dragon leaned down and ate slowly. No rush. No violence. The smaller dragons followed. They tasted. They watched the humans carefully. Some made soft sounds. Almost curious. The humans did not cheer. They did not move fast. They understood something important. This was not about food. This was about intention. The dragons were not killers by nature. They were judges. They judged who came to take. And who came to live. Every alien before came to claim Earth. To own it. To use it. Humans never tried to own Earth. They belonged to it. The dragons saw that clearly now. Deep inside the mountains, something ancient awakened fully. A silent agreement. Older than language. The Galactic Council panicked. They realized their mistake. Earth was never weak. Earth was protected. And humans were not pets. Not primitives. They were partners. The dragons lifted their heads and looked toward the stars. For the first time in a very long time, they allowed outsiders to watch. Not as rulers, but as witnesses. Because something powerful had begun. And the galaxy would soon feel it. The morning sun rose slowly over the mountains. Mist covered the land. The dragons were still there. They had not moved during the night. The humans watched carefully. No attack came. No fire. Only waiting. The biggest dragon finally moved forward. Its wings folded tight against its body. Its eyes glowed softly, not with anger, but with age. This dragon was not just a guardian. It was a speaker. A deep sound filled the air. Not a roar. A voice. The humans froze. The words were not loud. They were heavy. They pressed into the mind instead of the ears. The dragon spoke without language. It shared images. Memories. The humans saw stars being born. Worlds forming. Civilizations rising and falling. Then they saw Earth. Not as it was now, but as it once was. Earth had been chosen. Long ago, the galaxy feared itself. Too many races grew powerful too fast. They destroyed worlds. They burned life for profit. So an ancient alliance created protected worlds. Earth was one of them. Not a prototype. A test. A test of character. The dragons were placed there as watchers. Not to rule. Not to serve. To judge. Any race that came to take Earth would be destroyed. Any race that came with fear and weapons would fail. Only one kind of species could pass. One that could live with the world. One that could respect it. The humans felt the truth settle inside them. They were never meant to conquer Earth. They were meant to grow with it. The dragon showed more visions. Aliens landing with armies. Mining machines tearing the land. Cities planned before first contact. All of them burned. Then humans appeared in the vision. Early humans. Cooking food. Sharing warmth. Protecting their young. The dragons watched silently. They waited. And humans changed. They fought. They learned. They made mistakes. But they always returned to the land. They never left it behind. The vision ended. The humans fell to their knees. Not in fear. In understanding. The dragon stepped back. The message was clear. Earth belonged to itself. Humans were its voice. Far above, alien ships watched the scene. The Galactic Council finally understood. They had been wrong. Earth was never behind. It was ahead, protected by creatures older than their laws. The council sent a final message. An apology. A request. They asked for peace. The dragon looked toward the sky. Then back at the humans. The choice was not the council's. It never was. The humans stood. They looked at the dragon. They did not bow. They did not demand. They nodded. A simple human gesture. Agreement without control. The dragon lifted its wings. Not to attack. To declare. Earth was awake. And it was no longer alone. The galaxy felt it. Something had changed forever. But one final moment remained. The moment where humans would show. Not how strong they were. But how wise. And the galaxy would soon learn. Why laughter had turned into fear. The galaxy waited. Every major world paused its broadcasts. Every council chamber stayed silent. All eyes were on Earth. The dragons stood like living mountains. Their wings stretched wide. Their shadows covered the land. Alien fleets kept their distance. No weapons were charged. No orders were given. They were afraid to breathe. The biggest dragon turned its head toward the stars. Its voice spread again, deep and heavy. Not as a threat. As a warning. Earth was under protection. Forever. The message reached every corner of known space. Some worlds felt relief. Others felt fear. Because protection did not mean isolation. It meant limits. The Galactic Council finally spoke. Their voices were careful now. No pride. No laughter. They accepted Earth status. A protected world. No invasion. No claims. But one question remained. What about humans? The Council feared them more than the dragons now. Because humans had something rare. Trust. The dragon turned back to the humans. Its massive eyes searched their faces. This was the final test. Humans could have asked for power. They could have demanded weapons, technology, control over space lanes. The galaxy expected it. But humans surprised them again. The human leader stepped forward. He spoke slowly. Not to command. Not to threaten. He said humans wanted peace. Trade. Knowledge. They wanted to walk among the stars. Not rule them. The dragon listened. Then it lowered its head. Not in submission. In respect. The smaller dragons followed. One by one. The ground shook as they settled around the human camp. An alliance was formed. Not written. Not signed. Felt. The galaxy changed that day. Earth became a meeting ground. A neutral world. A place where force meant nothing. Aliens who once laughed now studied humans closely. They saw something dangerous. Humans were not the strongest. They were not the fastest. They were patient. They learned. They adapted. They listened. The dragons remained. Silent guardians. Watching not just Earth, but the galaxy itself. Any race that tried to take by force felt their gaze. And no one dared to test it. Humans returned to their cities. Life continued. Work. Family. Fire. Food. Dragons flew overhead like living stars. Children waved at them. Not in fear. In wonder. The story spread across space. How Earth was mocked. How dragons burned invaders. How humans arrived with nothing but food and calm hearts. It became a warning. And a lesson. Never judge a world by its silence. Never judge a species by its past. Because sometimes, the most dangerous power is not weapons, but wisdom. The galaxy never laughed at Earth again. And whenever smoke rose from a human fire, the dragons watched and remembered why Earth was never meant to fall.